What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we are back at it with a Black Clover Chapter 300 review. Now, the name of this chapter is Beyond Tenacity. Now, this has been a crazy ride to 300. 300 freaking chapters. Shout out to Yuki Tabata. But we get into this chapter, and man, Mijikula is still alive. What in the world? Like, of course it couldn't have been that easy, but she commends Gaja on his magnificent spell, and if she was not protected for her ultra high speed recovery curse, she would be freaking dead. Oh my goodness. So then we find out that Undine has been cursed as Noelle tries to muster up some strength, and Majikula's curses are actually going at her armor, disintegrating it. And Majikula is just all like, there's literally no chance that you can win. Anybody who stepped up to me in these ridiculous claims of hope and love, and all of this stuff has failed. So why in the world do you freaking fight? And you see Noelle, she gets up and she's like, I know I can't win, but I definitely won't be able to do nothing if I give up. And she states to Majikula that our strength lies in not giving up. And Majikula is just all like, yeah, whatever. Let me just go ahead and blow up Lola Pachika and kill everybody so that way I can fully manifest, because this is basically more of me. And, she goes to detonate Lola Pachika with curse, warding magic, exploding life. And Noelle goes to reach for her, and then here comes our boy Asta with a smack to the freaking hand. What's up, girl? And he uses his freaking Demon Dweller sword, and he freaking cancels out the curse spell. And freaking Noelle is just so happy to see him, and Majikula is just all like, what is that human? Oh my goodness. What a way to end 300 chapters. A lot of people thought that Noelle was going to come at this point and all of these different things. And I personally, you can look back at the video, I predicted that Asta was going to be here. There's no way that you're going to have the 300 chapter and Asta not show up. So in order for him to show up, how would it make sense as far as the storyline? This particular chapter, I mean, it was short, it was sweet, and I give it a 10 out of 10. This chapter was freaking, this was super dope, and I'll tell you why. In my personal opinion, it was dope. So in the sense of storytelling, this was 300 chapters. Think about all the things that has happened within these 300 chapters. And I'm actually making a video of the top 10 things that we now know in Black Clover chapters 1 through 300. And, and look at the pacing as far as with things. There's certain clues and there's certain patterns, but then there's also like patterns that only would make sense for this one particular time. If we're looking at patterns as far as there's this one video, I'll see if I can find it. I think Unami did it. Then that would be a more of a consistent pattern as far as the type of people being devil possessed and different things like that. Now that has been consistent. But as far as looking at Nozel popping up on this chapter just because 100 chapters before he popped up, that could be a pattern, but it's not as far as a consistent pattern like other things. And so not to say Nozel won't show up, because you best believe he's going to show up. I 100% believe that. But I think in the way that he's going to show up, it's going to make more sense. Everyone's is anxious basically. And anxiousness is a great form of being able to storytell brilliantly, because the thing is that it's not at our pace, it's at the story's pace. And for everything to kind of click and make sense, there's still several things that is going on. So yeah, this might be a long arc, but there's a lot of moving pieces that are going on, and things just aren't going to be that simple. Now Asta showing up right now is actually very, very amazing and good for them, but he's not going to be the one that, he's not going to be the one to sit up there and take like all the glory. He's more so there as a kind of like an equalizer. There's a lot of stuff still going on. We still got Gordon. We still have Nozel popping up at some time. There's still a lot to dissect and do. And there's probably still a lot more with Lucifero as well. And we still have to see what's going on with Xenon and and plus there's other people that just hasn't been around for a minute, so there's a lot that's going to, go down within the next, several chapters. There's a lot. So I know that we're gonna have a Black Clover break as far as within this week, for 301. My thing, I'm gonna do a 301 prediction video and a separate video, and also a theory video, because there's a lot to take in from this chapter, and we have to be able to look at how things have been set up prior, so I'll get into that. But what I'll say, and you can, I got the shave going on, so give me a like for fresh face. Just to give a little bit on my thoughts and where I'm going with a lot of this. Asta being able to do what it is that he did is very, very important. And I feel like, with looking at previous events that went down, for one, we know that Undine needs to now switch grimoires, basically. She needs to switch hosts in order to heal herself. So we got to take that into consideration. We have to take into consideration that Asta just canceled a cursed spell. So what all does that mean? If he canceled Exploding Life, of course he's not getting rid of the whole spell altogether, or the curse altogether, because I think there's a difference between curses and spells. And so you can have cursed spells that are not curses, and you can have curses that are not cursed spells. What Lotopachika has experienced is a combination of the two. So taking that into consideration, and he detonated this Exploding Life, was he able to get rid of the other spell as far as Vonica controlling her? All of those to take into consideration. Does she have some sort of, or will she have some sort of regaining, her consciousness to have control? All those things we got to take into consideration. Is there more people on the way with Asta? Or like I was saying before, because Asta can move at a quick speed at this point, did he just go ahead of everybody? You know, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot. And I also, like I said, I have a theory of what's going to go down with Undine. Oh, you need. Yeah, so, hey, shout out to officially 100 subscribers on this channel. Ooh, man, it's been a little journey, you know, a couple of years, but we're here at 100. So I'm gonna be looking back at all my content through the last couple of years and just see how I can, you know, kind of get things more structured and consistent and be able to show up more for y'all. But yeah, make sure to leave a like. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this chapter. Did you like this chapter? Did you think that it was basically like an ass pull for Asta to come at this particular moment? And make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss my prediction and my theory video. And make sure to check out my manga, The Most Random Manga Ever. Link in the description. I have 8 chapters that you're able to read, and volume 1 will be out on August 8th with chapters 1 through 11. So make sure to check that out. Again, this is Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. Peace.
Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take a few decades to decode. So I better get the work on. No need for second guessing, cause it was already written, or was it? Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Take control of what you can't control. Break out this handheld, hell made digital. Behold the pale horses. I'm far